Hi folks, welcome to the channel. My name's Colin, call sign MM0OPX. Unusually for me, I had a couple of free hours, so what better thing to do than go and play some portable radio. I've just completed my new backpack go kit. This would be a great initial field test. I had the choice of locations. One was my regular saltwater spot and the other was an attempt at a Parks on the Air activation. The POTA activation attempt it was. The location was Beecraigs County Park, reference Golf Mike 0015. Beecraigs County Park is located in the Bathgate Hills and just a short 10-minute drive from my home. I would drop in there on my way home from work. I had activated this park once before. In fact, I was the first person to activate this park back in March 2021. I'll put a link in the description for a video I made of that activation. I chose a different location to set up this time. In fact, it happened to be the overflow car park, nice and quiet. I would have liked to have taken a walk with the backpack, about half a mile or so. This was a higher spot yet again, but unfortunately it was looking like rain. The chosen operating position had a nice path to North America, which would become apparent a little later on. This antenna was one of my adjust-a-waves, though this one is a one-off. Slightly smaller than the standard, but still capable of working 60 metres up. The antenna works on the quarter-wave vertical principle, but using one elevated radial instead of ground radials. The single elevated radial performs as well as, if not better than, a substantial ground-mounted radial setup. The antenna support is the 10-metre spider beam travel pole. I've removed 4 sections from it, so the antenna is still around about 8 metres high. By doing this, it keeps the antenna much stiffer. What band was I going to try first? About an hour before arriving, I checked the MUF map by Kilo Charlie 2 Golf. It looked like 17 and possibly 15 may be open between Europe and North America. 17 metres it was, and immediately I heard a station in North Carolina working an EU pile-up. I tried a couple of times to get him with no luck. After listening for another 5 minutes or so, I heard him telling one of the stations in Europe that he was running a big beam and 1000 watts, so probably not much chance of my 10 watts in the vertical breaking the pile-up. I thought to myself, if I'm going to activate this park, I'm going to have to use CW. Now, POTA in the UK isn't particularly well established. I knew if I was going to activate the park, I'd have to stir up some action from across the pond. I set up my memory keyer on my 705 and I started to call CQ POTA. After about 10 minutes of calling, I finally got a bite. To my surprise, it was November Echo 1 Delta, first QSO and first QSO across the pond of the day. If I could work the station on 10 watts in a wire, well away from salt water, I was hopeful I was going to activate the park. Over the course of the next hour, I worked 14 stations in total, working between 15 and 17 metres, 9 of which these QSOs were in North America. I recorded some of these QSOs on my 705. Why don't you have a listen? Well, there we are folks, a thoroughly enjoyable activation. Before I went out, I never thought I was going to work as much stations across the pond as I did. Obviously that's just a combination of the propagation, having an efficient antenna, and of course using CW. I think that was the biggest factor. There's no way I would have made that activation on SSB. If you listen to how weak some of those stations are on CW, you would have had no chance. So there we are, 73 folks. Hope you've enjoyed watching that. Hopefully it's going to inspire you, one or two of you, to get out and play radio and perhaps even learn CW. 73, and I'll see you on the next one.